Well, hello everyone. Everyone is doing well on this Tuesday. It's Taco Tuesday, so I hope you've had some tacos today. If not, there's still time. So, greetings from Texas. More specifically, we're near Dallas, Texas. We're at Dallas Love Field. We're gonna be making our way down towards Houston by way of Tyler, Texas, and Lufkin. And we're gonna do some buttering of some Texas toast. It sounds good to me. I hope it sounds good to you. We are on the East USA server. Getting too used to saying North Europe. But in fact, we are on the East USA server. Gonna have a slightly modified from what I posted last night because there's a big update, or well, I say big, it was a small update from Microsoft who addressed some clickable cockpit issues that existed in some third-party aircraft. So we have some people to say hello to. We have, right off the bat, Nathan Dolphin 12 with a follow on Twitch. Many thanks. And hello to you as well. Ben McClure is here. Evening to you. Keen Lafford, hello to you as well. Curse is here. Good evening. Catbat9 is here, and he likes the title. Well, I'm glad you're here, Catbat9. Kendra's here. I hope you're well. Enjoying your evening. Peter Fast P84 is here. Welcome. Noel is here. Evening to you. Flying Scotsman Jim is here. Good evening, sir. Or I suppose it's afternoon. Curse is doing well. I hope. Well, I'm glad to hear that. I'm doing fairly well myself. Papa Joe B is here. I'll surprise you in a minute with the aircraft that I'm in. Alright, and that catches us up. Nathan Dolphin, aha! Gotcha, Curse. So, the update, or, you all want to know what aircraft I'm in. I originally planned on doing this in the 172, but with the new update, I've decided to go with the 182. I know, it's a huge surprise. Me and my Cessnas, you just never would have thought it. As Curse just subscribed on YouTube, many thanks, my friend. So, I just like the look of this little airplane. As we see the one and only two-tone Murphy on the ramp, kind of fused with a FedEx TBM, and it appears he's in the Mooney. Scotland 737 project is in the area. Welcome. Welcome, Murph. Glad that you're here, my friend. Even if you seem to have merged with a FedEx TBM. So, the big update addressed a lot of the big complaints and problems that have been with, really, more noticeably with the Coronado aircraft. And tempting fate, it works. There's so much dust on the Mooney, Murphy is going to be sneezing for weeks. Yes, this is a third-party payware aircraft available in the Microsoft Flight Simulator marketplace, and I really enjoy it. But I am a sucker for Cessnas. I personally think it's worth the buy, especially now that all the issues have been addressed. Music video for Santa Murph will be coming out before the end of the week. I think, I hope. I can't wait to hear it, Ian. So, first off, we're going to close the door because we can do that now. We're going to close that window. We're going to get on into the little iPad, close the baggage door. We're going to get rid of the tow bar and the static elements. We're going to put the pilot back in. And we're going to start getting this party started. The mixture goes in. The prop goes forward. The throttle gets cracked. Yes, the door closing goodness. I'm thankful that it's back. Okay, parking brake is set. So alternator, battery, beacon. We let things start word life. Disable that little warning and that one as well. Beautiful looking and features on it. Yes, it's really immersive, and that's one of the things I like about the Carolina ones. The Mooney's great, and the Seminole is also quite nice. So now that we got that, I'm gonna go with the mag switch. We're gonna lean out the open window and go clear prop, and she's a loudin'. But we can go over here and close the window, and well, gosh, it got almost tolerable volume-wise. So we'll turn the avionics on. I'm going to go ahead and put the nav and taxi lights on just for visibility's sake. We're going to let things get into the green. Our cowl flaps are open. We're going to lean the mixture just a little bit so we don't foul the plugs. Our RPMs are in an acceptable range, although I think we'll get them a little closer to 1,000. Rogers RC 7527 is here. Welcome, welcome. Glad you've returned. So we're just letting things in the aircraft warm up as we let the wonderful, and this is definitely by far my favorite paint job on the 182. The blue and the metallic blue is just gorgeous. Oh, the button. Well, see, you got to be careful about just how often you click the buttons now, Murph. You don't want to overdo it. Next thing you know, you'll turn the autopilot on and nosedive into the ground as you appear to be already levitate. Oh, there you go. There's a war hamster. All right, so we're going to get back in the cockpit. We're going to taxi to... We'll go to this runway because that'll give us the best crosswind coefficient. The sounds are good, other than being extraordinarily loud. They're a little on the loud end, as Murphy has unmerged himself with the TBM. Welcome to a lot of the people, the youngins on the Xbox who changed their names to something clever, Jim. But it would work. So we're going to strobe lights on as we cross the active runway. reduce the RPMs a little bit so we don't taxi super fast. Now that we're clear of the active, we'll turn the strobe lights off. Keen says that he'd hate to see Murphy as the captain of a space shuttle, as there's a lot of buttons. There's a United Airways. So we're going to make sure that our altimeter setting is accurate, and it seems to be. So we're going to casually steer away from what appears to be a fuel truck. Oh, he's going to steer out of the way. I think they really need to work on that. Google Metavis is here and doesn't like Twitch. That's okay. Bit to access this in YouTube. Not sure where you're getting at. The chat should be cross threading. Oh, the bot, the Streamlabs bot, or the chat bot, or the Streamlabs bot. I should be on both, Dougal. Well, there's one way I can check that out. Yeah, YouTube's working on my end. That's good to hear. So we'll wait here for everyone to catch up. We'll go ahead and put our notch of flaps in. Looks like Commandant Muttley and Murphy are chasing down the fuel truck. Scott is installing the update. Shouldn't take terribly long. I didn't get an update in the sim, it was only in the marketplace. So, well, it was in the marketplace for me, could be through Steam or Steam users. $160 days until the Eurovision, and it's even fewer days until Christmas. So we see Warhamster and Murphy in the Moonies catching up. We're gonna go ahead and get ready for flight. We're gonna turn the strobe lights on. We're gonna turn the landing lights on, the taxi light off. Yeah, gigabyte's not too bad. So we're gonna go ahead and taxi into position, line up with the runway, and then we'll get this party started. It basically addressed the clickable cockpits of third-party aircraft. So we'll slowly enter the power. Oh dear. And off we go into the wild blue yonder. Hey, there's always hope. There's always hope, yacht. It should be. Murph and Warhamster are both in the Mooney. The 182 seems to be peachy keen on my end. I know Murph has been clicking all of the buttons since the update, so I think we're looking pretty good. So as we gain altitude, we're going to do a leisurely turn around the airport here in Dallas, Texas. I could, but it's generally not a good idea. If I were running crash, if I had crashes enabled, it would consider it a aircraft failure and the screen would go black. It would treat it as if I overstressed the aircraft. So we're going to set the autopilot while we're circling the field. Oh boy. Boy, the frames. Going to adjust our PFD. Transponder goes to altitude. Inset can get turned off. So we're going to reduce power a bit. We'll do one more lap of the airport just to catch any stragglers. That's a good question, Jim. I've often wondered that myself. Nav mode, sure everything else is going fine. Kingsman 9965, greetings from Liverpool, England. Well, greetings from Michigan in the United States. I hope you're well this evening. We are on the East USA server. Dual. As we get a overhead look of the Dallas Love Field in Texas. I see Dougal McTavish on the runway and having taken off. We see a USA PR1 down on the ground. So we're going to continue our bit of an orbit for a little while. Well, it's not as busy as it could be, but there's probably a lot of reasons for that. I see Papa Joe B, I see Commandant Muttley, I see Murphy, I see Warhamster. So as we continue our turn, we're going to go ahead and enable the autopilot. And we're going to go ahead and set our cruise power. We're looking for 3,500 for the altitude with an altimeter setting of 29.92. I will have to report my speed when everything stabilizes, but so far it's looking to be about 130 knots. And I had a CTD. No, I play instruments like I don't play instruments. I've never been very good at it. The recorder doesn't count. Yeah, we just as Scott Voigt appears, the stream drops off. While the don't worry, we'll be back in a minute. But in the meantime, we'll go to this screen because might as well. I don't think so, Scott. It was not sure what it was. I think someone's trying to give me some gremlins. Negative. We are on the East US server. Very nice, Warhamster. Glad it came in. Yeah, I have a face for radio and a voice for silent film, Scott. We'll get this sorted out. Scott Voigt just came in to hydrate before I go back out to the front yard, putting up some more lighting. Well, Scott, you stay hydrated. That's always important. Of course there's a Windows update due out today. Why wouldn't there be? Why make things easy on content creators? Thanks, Microsoft. Oh, of course it is. 2020-12 cumulative update for Windows 10 2004 for 64-based systems. Pending install. Why would you do that? Thanks, Microsoft. Yes, the other people should, as long as they didn't get a CTD, they should still be flying and they should still be good to go. It's just I crashed. For reasons I'm not entirely certain of. And I'm just going to blame Microsoft for reasons. Yeah, I had just looked now, Scott, so I don't know. It should be either in the Microsoft Store or the or Steam, depending on how you got it. It won't show up in when you start the sim. But there's a Windows update. Or occurs. It's they released a patch today simply to address some third-party compatibility issues. Hopefully the tunage will help the entertainment while we wait for the sim to play nice. That is interesting, Scott. I'm sure Murphy might have some good insight onto what might help. Okay, let's try this one more time. H. Couple of seconds and we'll be up and running. Curse has to go. Catch you on another stream. Have a good night, day, night. I hope you have a good evening yourself, and we'll catch you next time. Yes, Kendra, I hope your fur babies are well after your vet visit. Just waiting on the sim. Alright, let's try this. Just volume a bit. Good to go. Beacons on. Engine start. Have life. Okay, so we should be good to go. Ooh, cranberry juice. I love me some cranberry juice. Mix some cranberry juice with some apple juice, and that's a good recipe. Okay, so we're gonna make our way back out to takeoff. Get our notch of flap in. Absolutely, Kingsman. We are on the East USA server. Okay, so we're gonna get this set before we take off. Want nav. Set our CDI. EFD goes to no. Transponder goes to altitude. Inset goes off. Da, 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 da. Vertical speed 1, 2, 3, 5. Alright, should be good to go. Taxi lights off, landing light on, strobe on. One thing I've done, I've turned off photogrammetry because that seems to be causing me quite a bit of issues in general. So I've currently got that turned off. Some instrument training in there until the flight school moved to a smaller airport. Was interesting flying out of there with the big boys. I bet it was. Alright, we're taking off once more. I have a lot to learn when it comes to instrument flying. As we've lifted off. maintaining runway heading for a minute. There's 300 feet, flaps are going up. There's Piat. And now that I've stabilized, I'm gonna activate the autopilot and get this show on the mode, on the road, or on the way, underway, something cheeky and clever like that. To sit and drink where I'm doing stuff much easier when I'm in the recliner or sitting at the desk. Absolutely. I'm the same way, Scott. Once I get on a roll doing something, it's hard to get me to stop and remember to even drink water and whatnot. Especially when it's hot out. That's not a good thing. I can be even doing this and realize, oh, I need to drink some water. Which is why I have the handy-dandy little reminders that pop into the chat from time to time. KRBD is the new home of the Commemorative Air Force, building a nice new hangar for them. Very nice. I was trying to plan another trip that would have visited Wichita so that we could see the home of Doc, but that wasn't in the cards for today. It may still be a thing that happens in the future, though. Oh no, what's happening again? What's happened? I feel like I'm missing something. Something's happening and I don't know what it is. Somebody tell me what's happening. I'd like to know. That's going to happen from time to time. I don't have the greatest of systems, so it kind of chugs from time to time. We're going to dial back the RPM a little bit. Twitch is good. And now I'm being flanked by a Mooney and a King Air. We'll catch you on the flip side, Scott. We'll see you on the Discord and the next stream for sure. as we see Cat Bat zooming in, and what I believe is the kind of rounds out the trio of Coronado in the Seminole. I see Christmas Murph up high, joining in under the formation. We could almost do a full advert for Coronado right about now. So you like Microsoft Flight Simulator, and you like having other options. Well, look no further than Coronado. Currently offered a Piper PA-44 Seminole, a Cessna 182T, and the Mooney M20R Ovation. Buy now! Christmas is only a few days away. I almost jumped into the Seminole because I do like the Seminole, but then I remembered most everybody's going to end up in the Mooney or the Seminole, and the 182 gets no love. So I said, to heck with it, I'm going to stick with the 182. Because someone needs to, you know, the 182 needs love too. So now that we're at cruise, we'll close those. We're going to drop the RPMs to 2200, well as drop the manifold pressure to about 22 inches. Get the mixture back a tad. Where'd that come from? We don't need to listen to that. There we go. We're stabilized in cruise mode. Texas is a state that I've not been to yet. I think their winter season only lasts about a week. So I feel with the new update, there might be a whole lot more Two-Tone Murphy's streams in the Mooney. Now that we can knock the dust off of it, kick the tires, and light the fires. There's plenty to love about all the Carolina aircraft, the Seminole being the quieter one. Yes. I do, if I had to pick my favorite Coronado aircraft that are out for MSFS 2020, from favorite to least favorite, in a sense that I like them all quite a bit. The 182 is by far my favorite. The Seminole's in the number 2 spot, and the Mooney's in number 3. I hope you conditioned the leather seats in there since it sat so long, Murph. And give them a nice bit of care and cleaned all the dirt and dust off the wings. Check for any critters living in the engine compartment. Wouldn't want to have any pigeons living in your Mooney. And I have no idea where Murphy will be flying tomorrow, but I'm pretty sure it's going to end up being in the Mooney. What speed? The Mooney should do a whole lot better than 140 at 3,500 feet. Murph found some birds nesting in the engine and a bear in the back seat. Well, I hope you gave the bear some honey as you escorted him out of the aircraft and properly relocated the birds. But the Mooney should definitely be doing a lot past 140. Just make sure your flaps are up, your speed brakes are in, and your gears up. If those are all in the proper location, I can only imagine, I don't know, mixture prop setting. I'm only going about 129 knots indicated with a true airspeed of 134 and a ground speed of 149. Aha. That's not good. Two axis assigned causing the gotcha. Well, I'm glad that got sorted out. As it definitely seems to be a beautiful day here in the Lone Star State as we're catching up with Catbat. We have some excellent formation flying going on. As per usual, we have a lot of very talented formation flyers in the flying circus. They never cease to impress with their formation flying skills. As we see Fast Pete catching up with the formation. Seem to have lost Warhamster. Don't see his name anywhere. Interesting. From my monitoring station, everything seems to be okay. Hamster with the 12 days of Murphy Christmas. That's unfortunate. There's Catbat dropping in. So we have a Seminole, 2 Moonies, a 182, King Air, and Warhamster with some FPS problems. That's real interesting. Have you tried turning off photogrammetry? Because after the CTD that I had in this stream, I turned off photogrammetry, and so far everything's been okay. Looks like Commandant Muttley has caught up, but it's not drawing their aircraft just yet. I can see Papa Joe B inbound. See USA PR1. The Paper Giraffe, double A 911. Willis 1862. There's the Bamboozler. I like that name quite a bit. There's Papa Joe B in the Caravan. So we have quite the assortment of aircraft flying with us today. Afternoon, USA PR1. Glad you're here. So at the risk of continuing to press buttons, I needed to get the sun visors out. Dougal is tail end Charlie today. That's okay. I'm sure that Mooney will pick up quite easily, or catch up quite easily with the rest of us. The Mooney is quite a bit faster than a 182. I see Bad Dog in the distance. That Dougal has caught up. As Fast Pete does a break. We'll check to see how far we are to. We're about 26 miles to the next location. There's Kingsman. It's a nice, beautiful day here in Texas. And here soon, shortly, we'll be buttering some Texas toast. Uh-oh, Piat with a CTD. That's not good. Sorry about the crashes there, Piat. Glad you were able to make it for what you could, and we'll definitely catch you in the next one. Stay safe until then. have our third Mooney closing in on formation. We have our Seminole also closing in. Pleasure to have you along as always, Piat. And we'll catch you next time, and hopefully with fewer issues. As we're 18 miles out. The winds are indicating 280? We're going to look at runway 31 for landing. You go in the cockpit for a little bit, and then next thing you know, you got 3 Moonies, a Seminole, a Caravan on you. So as we approach the airfield, the same general rules apply. I'll get down first, get positioned, and we'll record some landings. We'll expect runway 31 for landing, as that gives us the best crosswind coefficient. I know I'm using big words like coefficient. I don't even know what it means, but it makes me sound interesting. So this is 3-1 right here. So we're going to look at coming around, out and around. So we're going to set the heading mode to 13 degrees, 130. Switch to heading mode. Bad Dog getting a head start. So we'll go ahead and maintain this heading, but we're going to turn off the autopilot and begin our descent. Do our best to maintain 130 degrees, as that will put us on a downwind, a left downwind for runway 31. Make sure our landing light is on, strobes are on. Do our cross track. As beam me up, Scotty. We definitely have the airfield in sight. There's Catbat. We're about midfield. Well, we're a quarter field. The perpendicular runway is about midfield, so we're almost there. So we're almost a beam of the threshold. We're beam, so flaps 1. We'll go ahead and start turning a left base. And in another notch of flaps. A little too low, so we'll add a little bit more power in. Put in our last notch of flaps. They're my flaps, not show flaps. A little bit more power. head and turn final. Roger that, Dougal. I like the Mooney. It's just there's a lot of things that I just. Yes, the 182 should be in the in-sim marketplace. But we're real low on the glide slope. Now we're on the glide slope, so we'll reduce throttle again. Now that's what you call soft landing. So we'll just park it over here. RPM's up. We'll get our camera set. It was smoother than I was anticipating. So first piece of Texas toast buttered. So the runway is cleared for landings. It's great. It doesn't play with your side tech hardware. Interesting. Well, it's all about what works best for you, so I support your decision, whatever it is. You have to be comfortable in what you fly. So the runway is cleared open for landings. Who's going to be our first contestant? I don't know if contestant's the right word, but it works. Move the camera a little bit so we can get the windsock in. As we hear our first lander is Commandant Muttley in the what looks like the VL3. As we see Bad Dog land on the perpendicular runway. Yeah, I'm not sure why the 182 is so big, but I don't think the Mooney and Seminole are too far off of that. I could be wrong. There's Fast Pete in the first Mooney. Doing a nice landing. Very nice job. Who is next? Oh, who could possibly be? In comes the War Hamster, with seemingly having their issues figured out, with a buttered landing. Papa Joe B in the Caravan is next. Looking nice and stable. Nicely done, nicely done. Need to set for a while, catch up at the next stop. Roger that, Noel. We'll catch you there. Almost missed Cat Bat in the Seminole. Going with the flare and touchdown. Nicely done. Here comes Bad Dog, USA PR1, and Murphy. Nicely done, Bad Dog. USA PR1 in the Finanza. We should have a Murph inbound shortly. And speak of Murph, and he shall appear. Oh dear, I've zoomed in too far. Using his door for an air brake. Nicely done, Murph. We'll double check to see if that was it. Roger RC is inbound in the Bonanza. Oh. Trying hard to drum up more support for DA flight and streamers. That's awesome, Dougal. I do my best to try and help as best as I can with that. Good evening, Allison. Glad you can make it as Roger RC comes in for his landing. That's a bit of a bounce, but that's okay. I do believe that is the last of our group, as Fast Pete taxis into position to hold. So from here, we're just going to make our way to that taxiway and follow it down to the approach end, or we'll just back taxi, which we'll probably just back taxi. So from here, get that up, that button. We can call him Merp. Merp works. Well, I hope the stream can, and the news that the Mooney is fixed will make your long day worthwhile and give you some good news. And I'm glad you are here. So we're going to go ahead and, well, we should have our cow flaps open. Make our way back down to the runway. Make sure our altimeter setting is accurate, updated. Kendra has to call tonight. You have a great evening, Kendra, and we'll catch you on the next stream. As Kingsman 9965 is inbound, we'll stay to the side of the runway for your landing. Uh-oh. Greyhawk, it is Kilo Tango Yankee Romeo. As I've crashed for the second time. For reasons I'm not entirely certain of. I think we're gonna skip that track. quite all right. I'd rather have crashes happen on the ground than in the air. But yeah, the current location is Kilo Tango Yankee Romeo, which I'll load back into as soon as the sim decides to load again. Very nice. So this route will be from Tyler, Texas, down to Lufkin, Texas. And from Lufkin, we will make our way to Houston. Oh, the blue line. We're getting closer to the blue line, hitting the finish line. And this is the worst part, is the waiting for it to load. Just had to download an update. Your delay is perfect for me right now. Well, I'm glad it works out, because there's always a silver lining. Alright, so KTYR Tails. As I turn off all of the switches, going to KDH David Wayne Hooks Memorial in stop at Kilo Lima Foxtrot Kilo Angelina County in Lufkin. And it seems to make things slightly more stable for me. I'll definitely there's an update in the Windows update for me as well. I just wasn't entirely certain how long it was going to take and if it was going to require a reboot, and being the streamer, I wanted to have as little downtime as possible. So I will have to do that right after the stream tonight, but it shall be done. As we wait for the blue line to reach the finish line. Well, that's interesting. There's the airplane. Okay, so cowl flaps open. Well, that's interesting. Deacon. Engine started. Taxi and nav lights on. Avionics on. Notch of flaps down. Screen on. Altimeter set. Inset off. Transponder altitude. EDI set. Nav mode on. Equal vertical speed. That's something with this aircraft me thinks. I've heard rumors, but I've really not been had it confirmed. But there's a possibility of some issue where the sim only likes one 182 at a time. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but there may be something to it. I couldn't tell you what it is, why it is, or if it's even truly a thing. Hard saying. I like it, but maybe there's something to it. So we're going to be an bad aircraft tenant, and we're just going to cut across the grass. So I'm going to go ahead and get into the sky. We'll circle the airport and wait for everyone to join in. It's a weird. It's weird. Okay, that's gotta go. Lamps are coming up. And crash the desktop. Yeah, you and me too. You and me both, Dougal. Considering I haven't even done the update, I don't know. Welcome, Raleigh Mall. You've tuned into the Colonel Fork Technical Struggle stream. I might load into the Seminole and see what happens there. Yeah, I agree, Dougal. It's somewhere between a labor of love and being a glutton for punishment. Sometimes, I definitely think it's something that we should report to Coronado and be like, look, it's got to be more than a coincidence. The two people were trying to load in a 182 and it was crashing. There's got to be something to that. Unless Coronado is already aware. Yeah, I've had issues here and there since I started simming with Flight Sim 5. The last one for DOS. Legs 16 of 18 complete. Only 2 more legs to go. That's awesome, Scotland. Okay, so do the Seminole. I'm gonna go from Tyler. Go to KDWH. stop KLFK. Missions live. Well, I think the increased speed with the short distance between each leg and the crashes, it may work well to fill out the sim time or the stream window for tonight. Refiring up sim, have update coming through, so now flying. Yep, it's there to address some of the issues with the third-party aircraft. Beacon on. Of course, there's no beacon, so we'll just put NAS on, strobes on. And we'll start engines. After we turn the fuel on, it usually helps. So that goes altitude. Set the weather. Time is live weather. Okay, so third time is the charm. So I will take off and immediately go onto course. Well, roger that, Dougal. And we're going to take off. There's a little bounce. Okay, we got positive rate, tap the toe brakes, gears coming up. Flaps going up. So we're going to make a leisurely left-hand turn and hope that we still got some friends with us. We got Catbat, we got Papa Joe B. I see Bad Dog. I see Greyhawk. I see Fast Pete. I see Kingsman. So we're going to go ahead and activate the autopilot in theory. Murphy is in watch mode for a bit. I was wondering what happened to you. And you're doing a fantastic job there, Scotland. That's a heck of an undertaking that you've taken on. So we're waiting for 3,500 to turn on altitude hold. We're watching the altitude so we can set the cruise altitude. $200 more feet. I have one complaint is I do not like the autopilot system in the Seminole. But I like it slightly better than I like the one in the Mooney. And 3,500 feet. So we're going to bring the RPMs back to 2,500. And bring back the manifold pressure to match. Going to close the cowl flaps. And we're in cruise mode. One thing I'm also considering with the 182 is to delete it and then reinstall it. There's Greyhawk in a TBM. Google's gonna try the Baron this time. Well, if it means anything, Dougal, I see your name pop up, so that's got to count for something. There's Bad Dog off in the distance. Papa Joe B. There's Greyhawk. Catbat 9, Kingsman, Fast Pete, and Dougal. Yes, the bear on. So we're going to come in here. We're going to turn the co-pilot off because we're not flying with it today. It's a nice interior to the Seminole. And I'm glad they gave the seats a little bit of character, so it looks like it's and the carpets even. So it looks like a well-loved airplane. Scuff marks on the door. Little imperfections here and there. Overall, a very nice looking aircraft. As Dougal is airborne. Well, on the upside is we got everything smoothed out. Technical side, technical glitches are technical glitches, but we got it all sorted out, and that's what counts. I mean, technically you can with the dev mode, but I find it to be a bit not the smoothest of changes. It can be a little what's the word I'm looking for? It can get a little dev mode can get a little glitchy. So I try not to use dev mode. Plus, when you run in dev mode, it won't record your flight at all. And as of late, I've actually been having a fair amount of good luck with flights getting recorded with it off. So, yeah. The dev mode is not. It's not like FSX where it was easy to do that, but I kind of wish there was. We'll see Roger RC. See, short flight for you off to work. Still enjoyed it. Glad you're able to join us for even a little bit, Greyhawk. You're always more than welcome along. And I hope work goes smoothly for you. And we'll catch you on the Discord and on the next stream. Able to join our Santa. And I here's the hilarious thing, Dougal. Things keep coming up. I have a family Christmas event on the 19th. As I saw that you posted, and I'm desperate to make one of these sim flights or Simwings events, because I really enjoy what Simwings does, what it stands for and whatnot, and I want to be a part of it. It's annoying because I want to be a part of it, and this time it's a Christmas celebration. It's kind of the unfortunate part of having a split family is I have to coordinate with two sides of the family on when to celebrate things, and I usually get left out of the mix. So I want to be there, but unless things change with the family, I don't think I'll be able to make it, which is just a darn shame because I really like what you guys do. And I would very much like to be a part of it. As Catbat is catching up. See, got 42 nautical miles left on this leg. We should be on the East USA server for Raleigh Mall. Not a problem, Raleigh Mall. think all in all, things are working out tonight. Nice and smooth and chill and relaxed, just the way I like it. Well, you definitely don't want to make yourself sick there, Dougal. But I don't even know what a mincemeat pie is, let alone how to make one. So I'm not one to judge. Now the SoFly weather presets are awesome. They're I have them as well. I just typically like running real weather when able. But the SoFly presets are awesome, and they provide a lot of different scenarios instead of having to pour over them, you know, time after time after time. Seems we've caught up with Roger RC. Favorite YouTuber that isn't a flight simmer? That's a loaded question, because I watch a lot of different kind of content. Gosh, I don't think I could narrow it down to just one. I'd really have to categorize them. If I did anything, I'd have to categorize them. I mean, right now, my favorite YouTuber, just in a broad sense, is Murph, and I'm not just saying that because he's watching the stream. Dougal doesn't have the time to watch any. That's fair. Gosh. I figured it was a safe answer, Jim. Especially, and like I said, it's not because he's watching. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. I like Warrior Poet Society. I like the content that he brings. Forgotten Weapons is a great channel. For general gaming, somewhere between... Gosh. Some of them. So... Warrior Poet Society, Grantham, Forgotten Weapons, those are 3. I've got to look at my subscriptions. Let's see. Mumbo Jumbo, Green are a couple big ones. Tango Tech. Got a lot of subscriptions, but I don't have a lot of channels that I actually watch all the time. Been kind of stuck on Critical Role for right now. My sister actually has a channel that I haven't yet watched. She plays some modded Metroid. So if you look up Paragon Saga on YouTube, that's my sister. TA Outdoors is a good channel. Air Boyd, Jay's 2 cents, Jay's 2 cars. Cars. But yeah, most of my time these days is spent watching Critical Role, Two-Tone Murphy, or doing my own streaming. Let's see, indeed, Murph tops my list. XP72, I pop in his streams from time to time. Alaska 559, I pop in from time to time. Yeah, no, and Murphy's probably top of the class when it comes to chat interaction. Although I can see it getting more and more difficult the more and more people watch. I mean, he deserves every follower and watcher, viewer he gets. But I can definitely relate to the struggle of you get so many people talking at once. It's really difficult to keep up with the chat a lot of times. But he does a great job doing the best he can. And that's all anyone can really ask for. I hear someone. Well, if this Keen Lafford is as good as you say, I'll definitely have to check out his channel. We've caught up with, Dougal, Roger RC's down there, Catback 9, we're all together. As I see Fast Pete, Greyhawk Kingsman. Now, Murphy is not one to back down from a challenge. And although I will not challenge him to a duel of how many Guinnesses can you drink in one sitting, because I will lose very quickly. Oh, what runway? What runway? It'd help if I knew what the winds were. If I could hazard a guess, I would say look for runway 25. The question is, who can drink more Guinness in one sitting? Murphy or Mrs. Two-Tone? Well, if I ever make it to Liverpool, I'll have to check it out. I'd roll a dice, but I can't seem to find it, so we'll go with 2-5. Pardon me. Sitting. I don't know. The cat's kind of small. I don't think it has a tolerance for the Guinness. That's fair, Dougal. I don't honestly drink that much myself. I have some very strict personal rules when it comes to the drink. So off goes the autopilot. As we have the airfield in sight. That's a fair point, Greyhawk. Kind of the way I view alcohol consumption in general is I buy good stuff so that I can savor it, because I don't drink often as it is. So when I do drink, I'm drinking good stuff. So we're going to reduce the engine or the manifold pressure. Hands down, it's Mrs. Two-Tone. Her small size is an optical illusion. Saying that it's not that bad over here. Few beers every other weekend. Pre-COVID was fine, and the odd wine at dinner. Bananas. We were younger. Yeah, that's usually how it happens. Yeah, you getting. I still remember my very first beer. Was we were at drill on duty. And during the weekend, one of the senior sergeants was retiring, so we were kind of having a farewell party type shindig for him. And someone had purchased a keg. So everybody had a glass of beer, and except for me, because at the time I was 18, still operating under the understanding of legal drinking age was 21. Although for the military, at least at the time, it was different. As long as you're on post. And one of my sergeants comes to me and says, "Well, where's your beer?" And I said, "Well, I don't have a beer. I'm not old enough yet." He looks at me. He says, "Well, go get you a beer." And I said, "But Sergeant," and by that point in time, he said, "Go get you a beer." So, being the good little soldier I was, I went and got me a beer, and that's the story of my very first beer. Grew up at Joe's King Pipes. So we serve the best Guinness. There you go. I'm not sure if I've ever had Guinness out of a tap, but I think I've always had it out of some sort of can. So we have the airfield in sight. We're on a downwind already. Kingsman was in the forces himself. Well, many thanks for your service in your country. Takes a lot of person to be able to do that. I know that we have a handful of vets in the two-tone community. So we're going to land on whatever runway this is. We're going to loop around and come back in. I don't know what the wind is, and let's go for a challenge. Ooh, Dougal Royal Marines. I'm former U.S. Army National Guard. Duke of Lancaster Regiment. I see Dougal out to the left with Bad Dog. As the middle marker is going ham. Approach flaps on. Scotland with 300 hours just in the Mooney, you mad lad. And there's gear speed, except we wanted that one. We'll put that down too. We'll open the cowl flaps. Oh, we way overshot it. That's okay. Nothing we can't fix. Get some power because we're below the glide slope. There we go. We're on glide slope. We're lined up with the runway. Might want to adjust that to, I think this is 3-4. My apologies. So it's a heck of a crosswind on 3-4. That was a... Woo! Raleigh Mall got his new yoke and throttle. First flight, very different than choice. That's a true statement. So we're going to post up here. That camera up to speed. Just in time for Catbat's landing. I still see you, Kingsman. We're just landing. I have you in sight. Right about there. That sounds like a Papa Joe B in the caravan. And it is. Nicely done, my friend. There's Roger RC in the Cap 10. Followed closely by Dougal McTavish in the Baron. Now, when you turn the engines off, does that make it a bear off? Here's Fast Pete in the Mooney. Doing well with the crosswind. Nicely done. We have a Cooper Pete inbound. We still see Kingsman. It's easy to do with the Baron. Very easy to do with the Baron. So I would not feel bad about that, Dougal. Do we have anybody else inbound? We see Cooper Pete on the opposite end of 3-4. Here we have Bad Dog. Circling around. As we see Kingsman's name tag just past 2,600 feet. And here comes Bad Dog. So we'll take off from runway 25. as that seems to match up with the wind better than I just kind of said, we'll go here for landing. Interesting. One suggestion I could give would be to change servers and then change back as Bad Dog with a good landing. Nicely done. So Kingsman will do a reboot. So if everyone wants to make their way down to the runway we were supposed to land on, but I called an audible, runway 25, that would be fantastic as we wait for Kingsman to reboot the flight. I return the drone camera to my airplane. So flaps are coming up. That's okay, Dougal. No need to feel bad about that. Roger that, Kingsman. We're taxiing to runway 25. Google's reloading. King Lafford is hanging on 2%. We'll catch you tomorrow, Keen. You have a safe night. The captain's flutters went on the ground. The last update. I can neither confirm nor deny that, Rogers. I've yet to fly the Cap 10 at all. So I can't honestly speak of it. So as we wait down here, we'll make sure that everyone can catch up. We see Kingsman up in the sky there. There's Commandant Muttley, USA PR1, Roger RC. We have Raleigh Mall doing some aerobatics. We have Kingsman inbound. I think we're ready, so... And there's Dougal in the Funanza. So, Catback 9, whenever you're ready to get the party started. So we'll go for minimum intervals. The positive rate, tap the toe brakes, gear up. We'll do a lazy left-hand turn, circle the field once or twice. Laps are going up. We let everyone manage to get in the air. We're going to go ahead and reduce power. So we're going to continue our left turn. Our left turn. It's a flight sim thing. I had it. Gotcha. It does look amazing, Murph. And welcome, Brazen Head. Glad you're here. And the Fireflies are strong in Texas right now. So we're going to go ahead and activate the autopilot. Gonna aim for 3,500 for altitude once more. As we wait for our altitude. $150 to go. $100 to go. And 35. We're gonna make sure that our speed is able or low enough to let everybody catch up and stay in formation. As best as we possibly can. Looking at about a little less than 130. As we see the Texas evening and the Texas sunset. We've buttered some Texas toast. We've overcome some technical issues. And the Fireflies are doing the Firefly thing. The Fireflies are fire flying. I don't know if that's the right way to say it, but it works. It is indeed, Kingsman. I see Spag 9236. Absolutely, it is the Lone Star State. It's the second largest state in the Union, second only to Alaska. So I've slowed down enough to where I think most everybody should be able to catch up. As Lukester is rating with a party of 4. Many thanks, my friend. I do appreciate it. With the Viking raid, apparently. Hope your stream went well, my friend. As George C9, hello to you as well. Many thanks for the follow. Hope you're well this evening. We just took off from Kilo Lima Foxtrot Kilo in Texas, and we're flying to Kilo Delta Whiskey Hotel, which is right by Houston, Texas. So we are flying in the Lone Star State, buttering some Texas toast. We started off with the 182. During the first leg, we had some, or towards the end of the first leg, we had some serious technical problems, but we got it sorted out. And now we're in the PA-44 Seminole, as it seems that everybody has fairly well caught up. I'm going to put the beans back into it a little bit. And the best news of the evening is, of course, that at least the Mooney and the Seneca are completely fixed. The buttons on all 3 Coronado planes do work. Have yet to test out the Bird Dog, but I'm confident that should also work. George, can't wait to upgrade my PC and be able to run this. The graphics are amazing. They just are. It's fantastic. Dougal's flying over Livington, where you bought your first ever motorhome. That's awesome. So our ground speed is about 130. We're indicating just under that. Commandant Muttley, we have Dougal McTavish, we have Cooper Pete, Roger RC, USA PR1, Cap at 9, Kingsman 9965, Raleigh Mall 19, Spag, and Papa Joe B is somewhere around here. There's Bad Dog. There's Fast Pete. There's Papa Joe B. It does sound fantastic, the VR. I wish I had the equipment to be able to experience it firsthand. You have a good evening, George, and thanks for swinging by and for the follow. We appreciate it, and you enjoy the rest of your evening, and hope that your night goes well. We have 60 nautical miles to go left in our little trip. We're about to start flying over Lake Livingston. There's much coming. Well, here's the thing, Papa Joe B. We've been playing around with SimCom X, and that allows just that. The downside being that it's an extra little program. The upside being it's completely free and doesn't take up that much resources on your system. We've been with the two-tone Murphy Flying Circus. We've been playing around with that and Join FS. Join FS being an alternative for flying servers that give us more of a controlled environment. Raleigh Mile is in a Jabiru. It's slow, catch up, find out how to set yoke up with all the buttons. It should be fairly easy to accomplish, but now I've thought about getting the Jabiru from time to time. I haven't heard anything terribly bad about it. And it looks like a neat little airplane. Yep, Jim. What Jim said. We had at one point in time we had 7 aircraft across 2 different platforms flying. I believe that Jim was on Prepared, and everyone else was on FS 2020, and it worked fairly well. The key's been getting a stable server to host the hub. It gets a little finicky when it's kind of a peer-to-peer sort of thing. Other than that, it's been going well. The SimCom X in and of itself is sorted out and fine. I think the only limitation that they've been having is with SimConnect, because in theory it should directly integrate with the in-sim radio, so that you change the frequency in the sim and it changes it in SimCom. It's just been getting that to actually work. Other than that, it works out just fine. Peter Kearney is here. I got takeoff and steady flight under control now. Landing are still a work in progress. They always are. There's no such thing as, well, there is a perfect landing, but nobody does a perfect landing all the time. So it's always a practice skill. The Cree looks like a bundle of fun, if I'm honest. It looks like a good little laugh of an airplane. Go right on ahead, Jim. But it's good to have you along, Peter. Got a couple Peter. We have Fast Pete and Cooper Pete. But absolutely, landing, I mean, as I've been around aviation my whole life, and I think I do okay with the landings, but getting them down perfect every time is a bit tricky. If any of you are on the Two-Tone Murphy Discord, Murphy has been made a special channel just for Join FS and SimCon. Those resources should be available in there if Jim is unable to post the links in chat. Peter is a good, strong name. That's exactly it, Spag. It is. It's. I've heard it referred to as a controlled crash. So we're flying over Lake Livingston. See, we got Fast Pete, we got Cooper Pete, we have Noel, we have Roger RC, we have Kingsman, we have Dougal, we have Catbat, Raleigh Miles, Spag, Papa Joe B is ahead of us in the distance. Nice, calming evening flight into Houston, Texas. Was kind of hoping to fly over the Houston Space Center. Not sure that's going to be any landing you can walk away from is a good one. Papa Joe B is holding 130 indicated. That's about what we're at, or what I am at, I should say, at least. Disappear some names for a while. Spag is tail end Charlie, and that's okay. It's not a race by any stretch. So far, the only main downside with Join FS has been the lack of name tag. But that is I don't know if it's a limitation. It works in FSX and compared. I couldn't tell you about X-Plane. So but there's a built-in name tag. The name tag system is a little different in those platforms than it is in this, I do believe. Kingsman is stable at 95. We're about 40 miles out, a little less than 20 minutes to go. As we're looking for an evening arrival. And the 172 is not known for its blistering speed. But it's a great aircraft in general. Originally, that's what I was going to fly tonight, and then the patch got released. I always love these evening golden hour flights. Get some practice in with the night flying a little bit. Just get to see the runway lights. If there's only one runway, we'll take runway 37. Given the choice between 15 and 37, we'll take 37. 37. 36? No, 35. Four. No, according to... Oh, I'm looking at the wrong one. That's better. 35 and 17. Actually, technically there's two. But we'll go for 35 left. Which is the big runway. There's actually a strip for seaplane landing here? That's incredible. This airfield is awesome. It has a big runway, it has a small runway, and it has a water runway. That's awesome. That's nuts. You good, Joe? In all honesty, I didn't know what was there, what the layout was. Anyway, I just looked it up in the Navigraph, and son of a gun, The only thing it doesn't have designated is the heliport. No, I'm wrong. They got a little heliport up towards the north end. Huh. Learn something new every day. Fair enough. Fair enough. You're not wrong. You are not wrong. Found an airport where that's a viable option. So what we'll end up doing is overflying the field, doing a left turn, and lining up for 3-5 left. No worries, Papa Joe. Water landing at night are not for the faint. Unless you're in a big body of water, you're absolutely right. And even then, you're playing a guessing game with altitude. You have a good evening, Big Ears 60. I hope you have a great night as well. Glad you enjoyed it. And we'll catch you next time, whether it's on Discord or the next stream. But you take it easy. $100%, Dougal. 100%. Oh, I bet. You're all doing a fantastic job of flying, and I'm glad that we're flying together. Very nice. I'm sorry I missed it off. That thought just kind of trailed off. So now we're on the outskirts of Dallas, Texas. So we're about 15 nautical miles out. About 7 minutes. So we'll overfly to run through the plan again. We'll overfly. I'll land first. This is why we talk out the plan. We overfly. We make a left-hand turn to land. We make the left-hand turn in order to line up with the runway and then land. I'll land first, get situated, and then record everyone else's landing. Can't get over how awesome this sim looks. It's absolutely incredible. See, times like this is exactly why I find it hard to really do a whole lot of complaint or do any complaining with some of the niggly bits that are even the fair ones, because it's so awesome, and I'm just grateful that we have this. And that it's so easy to have a multiplayer flying experience. It's just, it's stunning, really. We're going to look ahead and see if we can spot the airfield yet. So it looks like Papa Joe B has located it and is getting into pattern. We're about 7 miles out. Gonna start dropping altitude a little bit. We do have the runway in sight. So we'll fly over, loop around for 3-5 left. We have Papa Joe B holding down the pattern. What other flight sim can you get a look like that straight out of the box? So welcome to Dallas, Texas, everyone. Over here is the Gulf of Mexico. Yeah, the water runway does in fact look like a pond. Raleigh Mall has beat us down. So we're going to go ahead and turn off the autopilot because we really don't need it anymore. And put our approach flaps down. Turn to the right a little bit as we fly over field. As we say goodbye to the sun, as it's sinking further and further below the horizon. We're overflying the airfield now. We're going to go ahead and open the cow flaps. Put in our second notch of flaps, the gears coming down. And the recognition lights off. begin our turn. Probably go straight from base to final. Got another nacho flaps. That should be all the flaps. Absolutely, Jim. They're fantastic. Go for a short final, a little high on the glide slope. A little low. That's okay. Ahead and reduce throttle all the way. The rudders to stay on the center line. Floating quite a bit. There we go. And we're down. So we'll pull off to the side here. Go ahead and kill the throttle, or kill the mixture. Put the parking brake on. And start. So the runway is open for landings. 3-5 left. Service to Dallas. Yes, 3-5 left. It's going to be the only lit runway. Comes Papa Joe B in the Caravan. Nicely done, my friend. Right between the lights. Next in is Noel in the VL3. Ooh. Bit of a rough landing, but that's okay. Any landing you can walk away from. In the first Seminole, Catbat 9. Well, I guess it's the second one. I was the first. With a nice touchdown. You're able to walk away from it. That's the important part right there. I do like the VL3. It's a nice little airplane to fly in. I guess it's classified as a light sport too. And Dougal McTavish in the Bonanza. Nicely done. Curved it right into the net. Very nice. Fast Pete in the first Mooney of the evening. Nicely done, Pete. Or Fast Pete. As we also have Cooper Pete. Gotta be able to differentiate the two, y'all. We have our next inbound lander. That's Roger RC in the Cap 10. Nicely done. Held on to her. USA PR1 in the second Bonanza of the evening. Glad you had fun, Dougal. It's always a blast having you all fly along with me. And it's been nice sharing little bits and pieces of the US update. And it's been nice not going to necessarily the most popular places, but still a nice look at the United States update regardless. Lots of Texan butter here, gents. Absolutely. Lots of Texas toast buttered. As Spag lands in the Caravan. Nicely done. Glad you enjoyed watching it, Murph, and flying along that you did. You have a great evening, Noel, and I hope you have a nice rest, and we will see you the next time, if not on Discord. Glad you enjoyed it, Fast Pete. As we have Kingsman flying overhead, and I think Cooper Pete's going to be in for a second attempt at a landing. So we'll wait for them a little bit. You're all good, Joe. I'm just glad you're along. And have fun with that Zoom meeting. We'll definitely catch up with you next time. There's Kingsman. There's Cooper Pete. Whoops. Hate it when that happens, Rogers. I'm glad you enjoyed it, Dougal, and I'm happy to have you along. And one of these days, I'm telling you, I'll make a SimWings event. I promise. I need to stop having family events on the same day. Yep, we're just finishing up the last legs at David Wayne Hooks. As here is Cooper Pete. You have a good night, Raleigh Mount. Thanks for coming along. It's been great having you. As Cooper Pete made it down, I believe, the Bonanza. So, spoiler alert, I think the next stream on Thursday will be near the St. Louis area. Somewhere between St. Louis and Kansas City. I think we're just waiting on Kingsman. And speaking of, nicely done. Well, I'm glad everybody had a good time. It's always a pleasure to fly along with some friends. And happy Tuesday again. I hope that your week is going as well as it possibly can. And if not, well, we're here for moral support too. Do appreciate all the follows and the comments and the chat and all of you for flying along. You're all wonderful people, and I'm glad to be a part of this community. So look forward to the next stream, and should be on Thursday if everything goes as planned. In the meantime, we're going to do a little raid on 757 Spy on Twitch. But until the next time, be good to each other. Stay safe out there. We'll catch you next time.